Wait, our generation?
Our generation. Our generation's fucking cool.
No, it's not.
Better than those.
No, because they actually, like, I feel like they
don't get it.
No, they don't understand. Like, obviously it's different now, but like when, like social media has such an impact on our generation that sucks.
Oh yeah, I think there's parts of our generation that's stupid.
Yeah.
But I think our generation is more like adaptable to change and stuff.
No,
like that.
I agree with that. Like,
the old people are so set in their ways.
Yeah.
And they don't understand.
They won't accept
It's
change.
not the same as it was 40 years ago.
No,
Okay,
I agree.
what are your questions?
Psychology.
I am going to be a massage therapist, and then I'm going to go back to school and become a paralegal.
I'm going to study for playwriting and directing for the stage.
Probably something in the medical field.
I want to double major in environmental science and political science.
I want to go into chemistry because I'm not talented enough to do anything else.
I want to go just a 2-year program for business.
I'll be going to college for film studies.
I am interested in digital marketing and graphic design.
Something with chemistry.
Next year I want to go to the center and get my general education courses out of the way. And as well with that I want to play on the basketball team for a year. And then after that I want to go to a 4-year school.
So I right now want to proceed on and go into to get my registered nurse degree, and then after I complete my 4 years of that, I'm going to work for a year and try to develop an art therapy program, and then volunteer my time and help with that, and then go back to school and become a nurse anesthetist, and then pursue that and still plan to help with my art therapy. So
I would say I'm definitely passionate about helping people.
I love to help people.
I want to study psychology and use it to help people, probably students.
And then when I graduate college, I want to go into the Peace Corps before I go to law school, and I want to go into third world countries and talk to them, like set up like better like recycling and stuff in their communities because they don't really understand that.
I work at Bernstein's. I'm a waitress, a retail, and a cook.
I am currently employed at Buffalo Wild Wings at Piggly Wiggly. I'm a customer service associate.
I work at Luigi's.
I'm a waitress.
I work at the Lighthouse Inn in Two Rivers.
Hostess at Perkins.
I work at the Roll Air.
I have 2 jobs.
I also have a job at Pick and Save. I'm a cashier and I work in the bakery.
I'm in the Youth Apprenticeship program for banking.
I've had a job for 4 years straight.
I work at Emerald Hills Two Rivers.
I'm a cashier, and I'm also trained to work in the top spot, baking, and on the self-checks.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Some people just don't take us seriously.
I feel like I'm always treated equally.
I think you do get treated differently.
You know, you do run into some different roadblocks, I would say, because you are younger than everybody else that works there. But as far as everyone treating me differently, I would say no, you're seen as an adult, but there are different roadblocks that you have to go through since you aren't an adult yet.
I think we're not experienced.
I think it's stupid. I don't think experience equals more respect. Just saying, like age.
I agree.
Well, I've been called stupid multiple times, that I don't know how to do my job properly, that I'm not a smart individual, I guess.
I get comments all the time about how I'm the youngest in my workplace and whatnot. So
I'd say mostly your coworkers, because a lot of them are older than you, so they treat you differently just because they think that since you're younger you don't know as much, or that you just can be treated like crap.
I feel as though I was in the beginning, but, you know, I was 15 at the time, so I don't blame them.
Probably, like, I was so young that obviously they probably treated me differently.
they tend to try and push me over, and they always think that I'm wrong because I don't know what I'm doing.
Because I'm not 18, I am like looked down upon too. Like I can't do a lot of things. I'm like that's not my purpose. Like that's not my fault, and I'm there to work.
Like I remember one time this old guy came in and like I took his order, and like I was really nice because like I have great customer service, and like he was like I was counting back the money, but like I didn't know like there's like a specific way to do it or something. Like say like the total is like 623 and you give me a 2023. I didn't know you're supposed to give like even amount. I know it sounds stupid, but I didn't know. And then he was like, God, God, you niggas are so stupid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that to me. And then he was like, don't you go to school? I rolled my eyes and walked away. I didn't even bring him his food.
I know that I feel like I'm talked down upon too. Like I get called cute all the time. You're so cute. She's just so adorable and beautiful and cute and cute. Like, no, I'm not 6. It's so annoying.
No, I would disagree with that because there are a lot of kids or teenagers that don't just get everything handed to them and they have to work really hard for what they have, and I don't think that adults realize how hard teenagers try, or most teenagers try.
I can see where it's coming from, but I don't think it's very fair.
It's unfair, but it's also somewhat true.
Yes, it is somewhat fair. I mean, every generation is lazy in some respect.
It is a fair claim, just on the fact that I have worked with a lot of different millennials. You know, I used to work at A&W before I worked at the credit union, and you do see a lot of that where they feel entitled or they don't know how to do simple things, and I just kind of see that as they don't have too many things that motivate them to achieve a goal or anything. So I would say that definitely is part of it. As far as being lazy and incompetent or anything like that, I would say we're no different than any other generation.
Well, it definitely applies to some people.
Because you guys are normal.
Yeah, it does. That's true. And I feel like every generation before that has had complaints about the next generation coming up.
I don't think we should be portrayed that way because if you think about it, the parents are the ones raising us, so in all actuality, it's them. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
If you say that we're lazy, it's your fault that we're lazy. You're the one raising us. You're supposed to shape us into the people that you want us to be, and if you're not doing that as a parent, then obviously we're going to come out being lazy.
Do you think it also has to do with being blind to their own faults? I mean, they're what got us to where we are today. They set up the grounds to get us to the level
you
we're
should
at.
be saying thanks a lot.
But yeah, I mean, if they see problems, they advance us to this point.
Yeah. You can't really label an entire generation, like, because you always got the outliers, like, you got like the really smart people, and then you got the kids that say those dirty pukes during class, so.
Oh, I hate stereotypes. Stereotypes are just broad generalizations that you put on stuff to try and understand it.
It's a really blanket solution, everyone.
I don't know. I go back to like the advanced classes we have, and we have to do more, I make my students do more work than I had to. I think like part of the phone and technology bridge between millennials and people of my age, maybe, or a little older, is one of those things like that wasn't what being a kid was like. It was more playing outside, more like linear in focus. We do this, then that, then this, much more now. So it's all these different things at once. It's probably just a different way in which people value or take in information.
We're more texting, and like when we do talk to others, like we get like awkward, I guess, because we're so used to texting.
We're not completely electronic. I feel like we still can have face-to-face conversations.
I think that some people can probably think that like we can't do as much as them.
We're still smart, and we have things that we're gonna discover as we go.
Well, in your brain, you've got chemicals, obviously, and everything you feel, your happiness, your pain, all of those things are just reactions of chemicals in your brain telling you basically in your primal things whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, whether it's something you want to continue with or you want to get away from.
I think the fact that he is so introspective and not almost calm kind of shows my indirect characterize that he doesn't fear death.
That he doesn't fear death.
I think the polar bear sends it back down and back to the local government or something.
Yesterday, my group and I were talking, and we thought that the water in the river could be somewhat of a symbol of life. And so the idea that she's like fighting and Charles fighting with her in the water to like keep her down and stuff like that, as if, I don't know, it just like kind of juxtaposes the idea that she's dead, but the argument still doesn't have the grasp of understanding that she's gone.
Yeah.
We talk about presidential approval ratings, and in times of war or when somebody attacks the U.S., like presidential approval ratings go really high. They're called red on the flag.
Yeah.
So part of that too, that people could have liked Mao a lot better because they felt like Cuba's leading their country and protecting them almost.
She lacks emotion, and she hates everything, but the one thing that makes her feel lively is this hitting people.
That makes her feel alive.
It's kind of like Dexter, but this is what I perceive her
I haven't watched Dexter. It's on my Netflix though.
So why are millennials lazy and entitled? Maybe because in our day, in order to access or gain information, there was many more hoops and trivial ways to try and find things. Like me and Mr. Callan had to look at these things called encyclopedias and books, and we had to do research, whereas everything that you guys have is right on your fingertips.
When I was in high school, I had to actually, use a card catalog and look up things in a dictionary, and I couldn't just Google.
The way in which you guys use technology is different.
I think it has a lot to do with the technology and how much that is part of your lifestyles.
Yeah, I just think that our generation is a lot different from like their generation in terms of like technology and how we communicate.
I think it has to do with technology.
I think technology has a huge thing to do with it.
Maybe ours is getting a little lazier, but we're doing it with the help of technology. Like, we're lazy, but we're also being clever in a way.
It's not the phone that matters, it's the communication that matters.
I guess they just enjoyed reading more.
Now, as technology advances, as media and people advance, the requirements have spiked, and you have all this pressure on students and millennials, and basically anyone in general. So there is that forming of this idea of laziness within people, when it's really just the circumstances that they've been put into.
I would kind of go with that, just like in school, I feel there's a lot more, people want to take harder classes and people want to learn now, and I think school has just become a lot more advanced, and if we're not doing, I think there's a lot of the older generation looks at us and they think that we don't appreciate like physical labor because we're also like technology in college and things like that, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that means that we're just looking to advance our society and ourselves.
The kid who doesn't do anything and the kid who's lazy is timeless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He just looks different.
You don't want to kind of give up the way things are now to different people. I mean, who wants to hand off everything that your generation has done and just go, okay, here's...
Yeah,
and
like
like
we don't want to see what we did fail.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a motivating thing, like, or this younger generation, because maybe we're genuinely concerned that we care. Or, you know what I mean? Are we overly? Is the older generation overly critical of the younger generation?
I think the older generation always says that about the younger generation.
I think people believe that because it's not their generation.
Well, maybe the older generation's trying to mold the younger generation into the way that they see their legacy best living on in.
We just don't like different.
Well, it all comes down to perception, I think. I think it comes down to what people see you doing. And a lot of the times, one of the things that I notice about people in our generation is when they're doing work, the phone is also kind of present. And any amount of time spent on that phone to an outside observer seems like a wasting of time and that sort of thing.
Do you think adults are having a hard time communicating now that, we're all getting cell phones? I know my parents both have cell phones, and do you think it's not so much a generational thing as simply just technology and the newness of that?
I would definitely agree. I mean, now everybody texts and everybody, does instant messages, Facebook messages instead of calling someone up. There's definitely a lack of communication going on across the board, old and young. Definitely. I think you hit it on the button.
No.
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 I would say no.
I fulfill some of the stereotypes, but I don't feel all of the stereotypes.
at times. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody fits that at times.
Yes. I'm pretty lazy. I procrastinate a lot. I haven't done any work in this class for maybe a week and a half.
I'm a really hard worker, and I work for everything to be successful by myself, so I don't have anybody to helping me.
I feel like whatever somebody puts in, they should get out.
I don't know about you, the viewer, or you, Jenna, but I hardly have any time to myself at all.
But I'd say like 3 or 4 hours a night, or I can probably spend time doing homework.
I've read over 200 plays in the last year. I've written 3.
I think that us as a group of classmates, especially being in this class, we take things way more in depth than what it needs to be.
I have no social media. I have a job. I've had a job since I was 15 years old.
But I mean, we say like all old people are, you know, mean, and like we're putting a stereotype on all of them hating change and stuff like that. But obviously, some.
Yeah, true. That's
some
also
are
a
different. Yeah,
generalization.
yeah.
The kid who doesn't do anything and is lazy is mindless. Yeah. He just looks different.
We're still smart, and we have things that we're gonna discover as we go.
It's not the phone that matters, it's the communication that matters.
Oh, I hate stereotypes. Stereotypes are just broad generalizations that you put on stuff to try and understand it.